you! In today's video, I'm going to show you what I do to get back on track. I just had a pretty wonky week in terms of nutrition, and it's time to buckle down, get my shit together, and these are the steps I take to ensure I succeed in my getting back on track endeavors. So a lot of people will beat themselves up if they've fallen off track. They'll even feel bloated and be like, oh my gosh, I've gained weight, and then start freaking out and then just keep falling off track, and then before you know it, it's 5 months later and you're still off track and things are bad. So we don't want to do that. So these are some steps I take to prevent that, because the little scenario I just described, like, that was me for a long ass time. So it doesn't have to be that way. So these are the tips that I have implemented that help me get myself going again. I'm going to be showing you guys some very yummy recipes from Knockout Body 2.0, which is going to be on sale for Black Friday on Black Friday. So the first thing I do when I'm preparing to get back on track is find some recipes for the week that I'm excited about. So this could be a new recipe that I've never had before, or it could be an old recipe that I used to have that I loved that I just haven't had in a while. So that is what I went with. So I used the Knockout Body 2.0 recipe book because it's like my little go-to resource if I want to spruce things up, because there's 90 recipes and they're also quick and easy and very easy to switch up as well. So you can't really go wrong. So that is what I did. Okay, so the first thing I did was go through the Knockout Body recipe book and pick out some recipes that I wanted to make for the week. So, since it's the most important meal of the day, I chose my nightly sweet treat first. So, I wrote them down. So what I did was alter them a little bit. So I ended up going with protein mousse and overnight oats. Now, let's just quickly take a little look-see, and I'll show you how I changed them because I wanted pumpkin flavored stuff. I basically am choosing the overnight oat recipe, except I'm swapping out the chocolate chips and peanut butter with pumpkin puree. I'll go over those ingredients after and how you make that. So there's that. And then the other nightly treat is basically the same ingredients, but without the oats. So this is to make things easier, so you don't have to buy and prepare all these different things. So it's almost the same thing, but just presented slightly different. So here, so the mousse, so same kind of thing, except we're going to be adding the pumpkin to it, and it's going to be amazing. So yeah, I wrote down those 3 choices, realized I wasn't going to go with this one, and stuck with the 2 that were similar ingredients, but not the exact same. Okay, and then for my other meals, I wrote down a couple of options, and at first I was gonna have 2 different salads but have similar ingredients in order to make it easier, but I ended up just going with the taco salad. So taco salad, I've just swapped the extra lean ground chicken for vegetarian chicken, partially because I just or not vegetarian, the vegetarian ground meat, because I don't want to cook real meat. So yeah, so again, super quick and easy, and yeah, so that's that recipe. And then the other option I was going to go with, if you're someone who wants a little bit more variety, what I was gonna do was have the salmon chickpea salad, but rather than the chickpeas, I was just going to use the black beans from the taco salad, and since I didn't want to cook salmon, I was also going to use tuna, but I'm just gonna have the same one every day because I don't care. But that is something you could do if you're someone who likes variety but doesn't want to buy a million different ingredients. So from there, so I already knew what my breakfast was, so I didn't have to write that down. So yeah, I wrote down my options, chose them, and then tracked them in. So I will go over that shortly. Okay, and the next thing I'll do is pre-prepare things a little more than I typically would, just to make it even easier to get the ball rolling. The hardest part of getting back on track is the initial getting back on. Once you get going and you have the momentum going, it's not as bad, but it's when you're first starting, you kind of need that extra little push. So it helps if you put some more effort and pre-plan things more, pre-prepare things more and things like that, just because then there's no excuses. So for example, the nightly treats I chose, the protein mousse doesn't necessarily need to be prepped because it's a quick and easy thing. But let's say tomorrow or Monday, I'm tired, I'm not feeling good, and then I'm just like, oh, I don't feel like making that right now. Oh, look, there's cookies, let's eat those instead. No, it'll be ready to go. It'll be in the fridge, in a container, ready to go. No excuses. So that is what I do when I'm first trying to get back on track. Once I'm moving along, then I don't need to do as much preparation. But like I said, it's for the starting off that you kind of just need that extra boost. So I like to eat the same things every day because it's the easiest. I'm a creature of habit. I just like doing things that way. So it was obviously really quick and easy to just pick a few meals. So I know for myself that nighttime is when I have the most cravings and I'm most likely to fall off track. So what I did, well, this is what I always do, is planned to save a decent amount of calories for the evening to satisfy my cravings. So my first and last meal of the day are my biggest meals, and then the middle meals / snacks are they're just smaller. Again, I do this because the first meal is typically, I follow an intermittent fasting type approach where my first meal is fairly late, like either late morning or early afternoon. So by then I'm pretty hungry. I'm ready to have like a nice good meal. So that's when I have like my big plate of toast and eggs and vegetables. And then there's like my little middle meal, which will be the taco salad. And then there's my evening yummy treat, and plus a protein shake thrown in there somewhere. So sometimes if I'm even busier, I'll literally just have the 2 meals and I'll make them bigger so I don't have to stop and eat throughout the day. So keep that in mind, that if you're insanely busy, you can literally have 2 big meals a day and maybe throw in a protein shake or something in there in the middle, and it just makes things so freaking easy. Okay, so what I also did was plan with a little bit of space for more calories still. So during the week, I eat anywhere from 1,700 to 1,900 calories. I keep it a little on the lower side because on the weekend I like to eat a bit higher, so that just kind of balances it all out. On the weekend it'll be like 2,500 to 3,000. If I'm being honest, usually it's 3,000. So yeah, let's take a look at how I planned all of this out, just so you can see. So meal 1 here, that's just my daily things I always have. It's my green powder and my pre-workout. Then meal 2 is my breakfast, which is technically lunch. So that's my delicious, I freaking love this. Like, it's simple but so good. So I plan my protein bread with some avocado, and then I'll have my eggs and my egg whites and some broccoli on the side. So depending on how I'm kind of feeling, I might add some olive oil. I'll always add some seasonings, like I always add Himalayan salt, things like that. I don't have plain boring meals. So there's that. And then meal 3, that's our taco salad. So I've got the ground vegetarian meat, the romaine lettuce, some black beans, low-fat sauce, low-fat sour cream, salsa, and then just some extra veggies on the side. I get frozen veggies so I can, because I prefer them cooked, so I'll get them frozen so I can microwave them. Bam, fast, easy. So that's just to increase my veggie intake for the day, keep myself fuller. Because of the fiber, it fills you up more. So yeah, that's the taco salad. So there's not really a recipe for it. You just obviously throw all that in there. You can have avocado and cheese in it as well, but I chose not to add that because I wanted to save room for the other meals. Then as you can see, meal 4, we have my protein shake. Now that might not necessarily be consumed at that time. I'm just entering it in. And then meal 6 is the nightly treat. So that is pumpkin puree. Well, okay, so this is the meal treat, the nightly treat option number 1. So what I do is the pumpkin puree. So what you're gonna get is just plain pumpkin puree. It's often like beside pumpkin pie filling, so don't mix up the two. And then I'll always add some sweetener to that. You can add vanilla protein powder. It actually really tastes nice in there, but instead I'm adding fat-free Jell-O pudding mix, and it's vanilla flavored. And okay, and then that's it. Oh, and then I would also add some cinnamon and nutmeg thingies to make it all pumpkin pie-ish. Then we have the Greek yogurt, and we'll be topping it with whipped cream. I actually don't know if that's the brand of whipped cream I get and if those are the exact calories, but I've got it in there for now. And then I'll top it with some peanut butter. You can put all of this in a food processor and it kind of like whips it so it's all moussey. So, well, you would add the whipped cream and the peanut butter at the end. Well, I mean, you could add the peanut butter. I'm just gonna move along. But yeah, so that is that. And then, so I have extra room now. So if that day I want to add a little something more to the pumpkin protein mousse, I can do that. I could also obviously add something elsewhere in the day. I've left some calories open for a tiny bit of wiggle room, and I think midday I would plan in what that's going to be, because again, if you're kind of feeling a little wonky with your motivation, if you don't plan what those extra calories are until you get to the evening, it can backfire. Like, I know, say if I'm like, oh, I'll have chocolate chips, and then I end up taking too many. So I just find it's best to pre-plan it, so it's like, okay, this is what I'm having, no questions asked. So the next day is the same, except for the nightly treat, slightly different. It's the overnight oats. So I don't know, I feel like whipped cream will taste good on top of that. So basically it would be the same thing except oats. So you have to leave them to sit for 5 hours-ish. Obviously you can leave them longer, that's what I'm gonna be doing. So same kind of thing, you would throw the oats in the bowl, you would throw the pudding, the Greek yogurt, the pumpkin, mix and the cinnamon, stevia, blah 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 blah, mix that all together. You could add almond milk. I'll honestly just add water because with the Greek yogurt and everything else in there, it tastes fine in my opinion. So that's what I do there. And then when I eat it, I will add the whipped cream and again, something else because I have space in the calories. I feel like Oreos or something, like I don't know why, I just keep thinking about Oreos on these. So yeah, I'll plan the day of, but also, let's take note here. I have planned this so that I'm already at my protein goal, above my protein goal. So that means that I can add something more like sweet and not super nutritionally dense because I've already covered all my bases. Like, look at that. Look at that fiber. Look at that. The fat's actually a little low, but anyways, so that's it. And again, this is all really quick, easy things. Nothing except for the eggs need to be cooked. I have planned this in a way that I know works well for me. Obviously, I know that for me, having the nightly treat as a fairly high cal works best, so that's what I've done. You might want to structure your day a little bit differently, but yeah, it's the pre-planning that does make a big difference in getting the ball rolling. It's like, yeah, you don't have to, it takes a bit of extra time, but you won't have to do that forever. It's just getting the ball rolling. So that is it. I hope this helped. If you guys have any questions, let me know and I'll be happy to answer. And stay tuned for Knockout Body 2.0 sale because did you see those recipes? Did you see? Did you see? I saw. They looked friggin' good. They taste good too. Alright guys, that is it. Bye!